a great American patriot, the congressman from Arizona, and also the chairman of the House Freedom Caucus, Andy Biggs. Congressman, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Todd. It's always good to be with you.
You know, Congressman, a couple of big stories happening today in Washington. I want to get your reaction first to the comments from Dr. Fauci. I know you're not a fan, neither am I. Now, Dr. Fauci is saying that if we reopen the country too fast, people are going to die. He said that schools may not be able to reopen in the fall. What's your reaction to the testimony today that we just heard?
Well, I had a couple reactions because I saw it. First of all, he emailed that testimony in advance to a media outlet, a journalist, which was, in my opinion, irresponsible. Second thing is, President Trump is trying to optimistically and cautiously open up the country and get us going, and Fauci always undermines him. He always finds a way to undermine what the president's going to do. And then the third thing is, he does not, and he admitted this today during his testimony, he's not looking basically at anything else except for what he's supposed to do. He does, but he's not considering whether that you have additional deaths or mental health harm due to a shutdown. And there's stories out there, there are studies out there that are now indicating that the cure that he is advocating for may be worse than the actual disease itself. And I just find myself just cringing every time I hear him because he's making policy and he doesn't even act like he's going to take the totality of this country into what it is. And we're not even talking about economy, and I'm not talking about the rights. I'm just talking about public health issues that he's not even taking into account.
Well, I think it's important for us to talk about the economy now and also the future of this country. I mean, Congressman, you've got some of these local and government leaders saying that some states could be shut down through the fall. This is going to impact all of us at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely right. Yeah, don't believe me. I'm not minimizing the economy or the civil rights that are being abrogated. Yeah, I'm just saying that he's only focusing on the health, and there's public health issues that are becoming a real problem as well because of his policies. But the economy, you can't have 33 million people out of work, and that's a minimum. And knowing that we're going to be punching up over 35 million by the end of this week, and if you close down the economy, I mean, Oregon wants to stay closed forever, I guess. I don't know what their deal is. But when you start looking at that, there are so many pathologies that come with that. And now you have other industries saying, hey, well, we need to be bailed out. I just saw that a famous restaurateur is saying, yeah, we need about $250 billion to bail out restaurants. I mean, money does not grow on trees. We're sitting at a $4 trillion structural deficit. We're going to be at a 5 or 6 by the time the Democrats get through with us. We're going to be pushing $28 to $30 trillion in national debt, and then our economy is shrinking to boot. And the president's trying to get us into a transition phase to get back to the great economy we were at just 9 weeks ago. And this is really we've reached a total crossroads. You've got the people who want to stay closed down, and you've got the people who say, we are free Americans, let us take the risk. If I want to stay indoors because I feel concerned, I can stay lockdown. But I tell you what, if there's a furniture store that wants to open up, or a record store that wants to open up, or some kind of a hobby shop that wants to open up, they should be able to open it up. And if they're going to determine, guess what, you're not going to, I want you to wear a mask, and I say, well, I don't want to wear a mask, then they can say it's their private property, they can say, stay out then. But the point is, we've gone to socialism as the response to this, when I believe, quite frankly, freedom is the best response to what ails America today.
Well said, and it troubles me, Congressman, when we hear the stories. We just had a lady on in the last segment. She owns a brew house. She and her husband, they're in their 60s. They cashed in their retirement funds to live the American dream, and now they're being threatened literally by the state police in Idaho, a Republican governor there, which is shocking. But, she said something that I want to get your reaction to. She said we are living under martial law without people calling it martial law.
Well, that's, I have said that, have we moved to a martial law type of state, is that being enacted. We don't have all of the things that we normally have in martial law, but you certainly have this idea: if I open my business, I'm going to be arrested. If I play ball in a park with no one else around with my kids, I can be arrested. If I try to get on a plane without a mask, they're not going to let me. These types of things are not what you would ever have expected in the United States of America at any time, and certainly never in our history have we seen this before. But that's where we are, and it's akin to, I'd say it's analogous to martial law, with a little, actually a little more freedom than normal martial law, but certainly we're approaching it.
Congressman, I want to move along to Obamagate. Shocking developments coming out. Do you think that we are going to see people held accountable here?
You know, Todd, I've been believing, hopeful, prayerful, having faith for 2 years now or more that we'd see something done. I'm told as recently as yesterday that the Durham group is really going on. They brought in a couple of new guys, Jensen, Todd Jensen is supposed to be very good at this. I believe that we've reached the point. So much has been released. I'm very grateful for the release of all these documents, these transcripts that are coming out, because they show a side that we haven't seen. But believe me, there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands and millions of additional documents that could be declassified. And if they came out, the country, the world would be shocked at the abuse that was coming through for political purposes to unseat a sitting president. There must be accountability.
The headline of the New York Post editorial, it looks like President Obama ordered up phony Russiagate scandal. You're there on Capitol Hill. Is that accurate?
That's what it looks like to me. Everything I've seen, you've got a timeline that indicates it. President Obama was briefed by Comey on the Flynn matter, what they were doing. All of the timing taking place in January of 2017, before President Trump was even sworn in. And then you had, right after he was sworn in, the actual setup meetings with Michael Flynn. It looks the evidence seems to be pointing very strongly that President Obama knew about it, and if he didn't order it, that he certainly acquiesced into what they were doing. He's got culpability there, but it's not just him. Don't forget, Joe Biden was sitting there in early January 2017 at that meeting with Brennan Clapper, Yates, etc. They knew that there was nothing going on, no collusion, absolutely nothing going on, and yet they made a conscious decision to press forward for the reason that they didn't want Donald Trump to be president.
And let's just step back for a second here, Congressman, because let's just say, for the sake of the argument, okay, you've got evidence that General Flynn may be working with the Russians. At that point, why would you not call up Donald Trump and say, hey, you've got a problem, in your campaign? But they did not do that because they knew, Congressman, that there was nothing there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Not only did they know that there was nothing there, they tried to set up the then President-elect Donald Trump also in early January, after the meeting with Obama, where Comey goes up with this group to Trump Tower. They brief him, and then Comey meets with him one-on-one and tries to set up President Trump. This was done. It's nothing short of a coup attempt. I'm just telling you, it's nothing short of a coup attempt, where these guys were engaged in a conspiracy, a criminal conspiracy, and that deserves more scrutiny and probably prosecution.
Based on what we know now, do you see that that former President Obama or the former vice president did anything criminal, anything that they could be charged with here?
Well, we still have to get some transcripts and some additional testimony, and if they were doing this and abusing process, then I would say that's criminal conduct.
It's just shocking, and I'm so glad. Thank goodness for Rick Grinnell.
Yeah.
What an American patriot right there.
Yeah, he's done a great job. Who could be unhappy with what he's doing? Oh, I know who could be. Obama and company, who are orchestrating the coup.
Yes.
Everybody else in America should be grateful for the transparency of getting these records out.
And Congressman, thank you and your fellow members of the House Freedom Caucus. Without you guys up on Capitol Hill, I don't think we would have all the information we now have. So I just want to thank you, Congressman, for the great work you guys are doing.
Thanks. That means a lot, and I'll pass that on to my guys and my gals.
All right, Congressman Andy Biggs, ladies and gentlemen, fighting the good fight for you, the American people. Congressman, thanks.